Grab a hot drink and turn up the volume. It's time for Morning Jolt with Sister Ignatia. Once a month, Kyle heads over to Fortezza Coffee for a chat with coffee aficionado Sister Ignatia Henneberry from the Sisters of St. Francis of Perpetual Adoration. Wake up!
This is Kyle Hyman. I am here with Sister Ignatia Henneberry, and we have some delightful beverages here. What'd you go with?
I went for a pour-over.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a pretty artisan. I wish you could see it over the radio, but
I'll take pictures
of these.
these.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting quite the setup. But
this is very photogenic.
Oh, yeah.
So it comes with the cup of coffee and refills.
I guess so, yeah. My own little...
A little pot of refills.
Yeah.
And I got the most photogenic here, mocha.
Yes.
With the, what do they call it? Art. Cream art, the coffee
there's
art.
A name.
There's something, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's what that is.
Why don't you go ahead and give yourself a little taste there, see how it turned out. I feel like I'm drinking coffee out of a giant bowl. It's so
It looks like a cereal bowl.
I got the big one. But it's good. How's your coffee?
It's good.
Good.
Yeah.
You do pour over at home.
I do, yeah, because it's just no electricity needed. It's very simple.
You heat up your water on the stove?
Yep.
With electricity?
Shoot. It's a gas stove. It's a gas stove. Yeah, I guess, yeah. The water's the only element, yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? We've talked a couple times, and I don't think in all of this time I ever asked you if Ignatia was your birth name.
Oh, really? Okay. No.
Okay. I kind of thought it might not be.
My parents would be really cool if they did name me that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So when you become a novice, that's when you request to, one, become a novice, a sister, and then a name change too. So I guess I had just been reading. It usually is like a saint that we're close to, maybe a virtue that we want to follow, or something special. So I had read letters of Saint Ignatius of Antioch. So he died around like year 100 or so, and I was just really moved by his own relationship to Jesus and the intensity that he wanted to live the Christian life and his martyrdom, and then felt that was my patron and the name that I should have.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Have you ever run into another Ignatia?
I have. Funny story. So, yes, a sister of St. George, or Sisters of St. Francis of the Martyr of St. George, if you've heard of that community. Okay. They usually just call them the martyrs. But I actually went to school with some of those sisters before I entered, and one of them was Sister Ignatia. But she's after St. Ignatius of Loyola.
Okay.
And at least 3 different times now, I have received emails from her family or from like some conference registration for like, she's a nurse, and she's like, so some like healthcare conference notifying me that I'm registered so I just like forward them to her and say like, hey, how's it going? Got your email from your mom about your family pictures.
That's awesome.
Pretty great, yeah.
So you just recently went down as, I assume as part of your role as campus minister at University of St. Francis, went down to the Seek conference.
Yes.
Which is a kind of college student / young adult conference. Was that your first time going?
No, it was actually my third time for a focus conference. So they have Seek biannually, and then on the off years is Student Leadership Summit, or SLS.
Yeah.
The last one was in San Antonio, so I was very thankful that this year was in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
That was great.
And so what was the experience like in Indianapolis?
Oh, wild. Can you imagine? Yeah. I mean, they have bigger
17,000.
conferences. Yeah, but that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And to have them be like college students and like actually participating in mass like all together is pretty powerful to see. So, yeah.
How many students did you take down with you?
We had 11. So a pretty good amount. And I think it was really meaningful for them. So, I have to kind of be touching back in the next couple of weeks to see how everything was.
What were some highlights from the conference?
Well, they have a campus ministry track as well. So some of those talks were very good, and just like speaking to, I think, where ministry is right now and helping us as like campus ministers reach students, and so that was really cool.
Have you done some follow-up with the students that went, as far as like what their experience was or what you're going to try to do after this? Like, are there things that you're going to try to implement into your campus ministry?
Yeah, we haven't met with them as a group yet. We're trying to set like a time then they all can come together. But the funny thing was, like our director and I were already planning on that, but then we had this group text that was going around, and as soon as we like left the conference, we all kind of like left carpooled separately. And one of the students actually in the group text said like, "Hey, we should all get together and like share our experiences and stuff." So like the director and I looked at each other like, "Job well done." Like, you know, that they want it, they're excited about it. So I already see like one women's group or Bible study kind of coming out of it, and I guess we'll see.
What inspired that? What about the conference inspired a Bible study?
Well, there was a Bible study happening, but our student graduated in December. So then we were thinking of one of these other students would be able to like take it over, but she wasn't really. I think maybe wasn't feeling confident, or you know. But I think this conference maybe just helped give that little extra nudge to say like, okay, I don't have to be perfect, but like this needs to happen. Like, you know, students on campus like need it, so give it a shot.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they have more tools to reach out, I think. Yeah.
At those conferences, it always seems like there's so much energy and so much participation. Part of it's like positive peer pressure, whereas maybe on campus you might see a little bit of the opposite of you don't want to stand out and be the awkward super Catholic.
Yeah.
How do we make everyday life more like those conferences?
I know. That's a good point, because I think how the conference is, it's supposed to be a transformative experience. Like Curtis Martin has said, even about like the mission trips that Focus does, it's a concentrated, almost conversion experience. Like it's meant to be that. So yeah, so then like how to bring that to like the campus, which is kind of the struggle. So like they hit on it a lot, especially in like the keynotes of, okay, now what? You guys are going to go back and it's going to get hard.
Right.
And like the two main things that they kept saying, and which are true, is just a consistent prayer life and community. And I think we forget so much. You know, we come away from it and then we were like, well, did that really happen? Was it really that meaningful? Like, I don't know. It was kind of cool, but this is real life. Yeah. And I remember actually leaving a retreat once, and somebody said like to the retreat master, like, well, I guess we have to return to real life now. He's like, no. This is real life. Like we were in real life, even though we were exhausted and all that stuff, but like that was real life. So I guess you need the community around you that's going to remind you of all of that. And then you do have to translate that into evangelization. So like the conference doesn't have that element necessarily, I guess, built in of like you're ministering maybe to each other, but not like you're not reaching out to like the atheist in your class that like is angry at God for something, you know what I mean? Right. Like, but your life in college is going to give you that opportunity. So like that's a necessary part of, I guess, a Christian life. Yeah. Yeah.
We're talking with Sister Ignatia Henneberry here while we try some coffee. You did the pour over, and I did the mocha, which both pretty in their own way.
Oh, definitely.
Yours has this very, almost like an ancient vibe to it, like very sophisticated.
Yeah. I feel like this might, maybe, I don't know if Egyptians drink coffee, but this is what I picture, or the Greeks, maybe, I don't know.
Mine is a little bit more of a frou-frou, delicate beverage, but in a giant bowl.
Yeah.
All right, well, you are gearing up to go to your, how manyth World Youth Day?
Third
World Youth Day.
Isn't that amazing?
So what? Yeah. Madrid, Poland?
No, actually. So the others were before I even was a sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Toronto, I was 12 at the time, I think.
Okay.
2002. Yeah, and then the next one was Cologne.
Okay.
In 2005.
So then took a hiatus.
Yes, I went off the World Youth Day circuit and then coming back.
Your triumphant return to World Youth Day.
That's right. Yeah. Whew.
Panama City. What are you looking forward to the most?
Just like what your World Youth Day is. Like it is such, I guess, a similar element of what Seek is. Like you're coming together and you need a example of like, yes, the church is worldwide and like we're all united for a reason. I think that's kind of what I learned like the first World Youth that I really went to. You are supposed to be living for something bigger than yourself, and the church is it, because you see it.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1, I'm going as a participant, to 10, I'm going as a chaperone.
Oh.
Where do you see yourself?
I guess. I hope. I don't know if Mary Goloski's listening or anybody else that's going that are actually chaperones, but I guess I don't know, maybe a 5. I don't know. Because, I mean, in our position, especially as a sister, I feel like we're always responsible in some sense, obviously, to like take care of like the students that are with us and like be ready to like minister and, you know, but I think we're there for a present, just to be a presence, similar to the seminarians and the priests for the young adults and the students that are going. But I think most of that is going to happen, like just participating, like, you know, you kind of just, on stuff like this, you kind of have to let it happen, sort of.
What have you been doing to get ready yourself, and or what have you been doing to get your students ready? It's
a good thought. Not enough, but
there's always room for more.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm going with 3 of my other sisters who are going. So the class that professed final vows together. So we just professed in August, and then the 4 of us are going to go on World Youth Day with the diocese together. So the 4 of us have kind of been like communicating, and like we've kind of shared each World Youth Day has a list of patrons, saints. So we've tried to just like maybe intentionally like pray for that saint's intercession for, you know, a week or something.
What have some of the saints been?
Oh, St. John Paul II, of course. St. John Bosco, Blessed, I can never remember his name. The 12-year-old boy that was killed in For Greater Glory. That movie, you know, that scene. Yeah, I can't remember his name. And then, is it Blessed Oscar Romero? I think he's on there as well.
He was just canonized saint.
Yes, Saint Oscar Romero, Saint Martin de Porres, and some others that are more local that if I tried to say their name, I would also
local to the Panama?
Latin America.
Sure.
Yeah. And then one thing that one of the leaders told us, so we've had like some preparation meetings and, you know, like how do we go on pilgrimage? And one good suggestion I thought is like, you know, we should like ask something of the Lord. Like that's, especially when pilgrimage maybe was a bigger part of like Catholic culture, like Middle Ages or whatever, there was a purpose why someone went. They had an intention, or they had like a question that was on their heart or something. So I think praying about that hasn't totally solidified in my mind, but it's getting there. So yeah.
Anything you're not looking forward to?
Oh, well, you try not to think about it, but I mean, the last time I was out on an airfield for World Youth Day, I was 15 and not in a habit. So I think that'll be interesting. But I think some people have harder times with like, you know, personal space and sleep and that sort of thing. And for me, it's like, well, this is what it is. And yeah, the adrenaline kind of takes over. So it'll be uncomfortable, but.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Go for it.
How many habits do you take with you to Panama?
Oh, this is strategic. Okay, yeah, you have to plan. I only have 3.
Okay.
So I take 2.
You only own 3.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm going to take 2. One will be like the, you know, just walking, traipsing everywhere, and then sleeping in overnight. And then I have maybe one that'll be a little fresher to come home in. You know? So it's just
strategic.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. To think about these things.
All right. Well, thank you so much, sister, for joining us for some coffee and conversation, and also remind people to keep you and all the pilgrims in their prayers as you go to World Youth Day. And we'll look forward to hearing how it went and what you learned and what we can learn from you from it as well. So thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Wake up!
I thought it'd be fun to share a little behind the scenes. This is her and I chatting about what the show should be called, or what her segment should be called. All right, Sister Ignatia Henneberry, you have agreed to meet with me once a month to talk about whatever while drinking some coffee. You suggested that we meet at Fortezza Coffee, and they have graciously
paid for it.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes. So the thing is, we need to figure out a name for this. The thing that we do with the priest is flavor of the week. I feel like this needs to be something unique, something of its own.
I agree.
And since we're doing coffee, maybe it could be coffee related. We brainstormed. We had an email. A couple of them that you liked were Morning Jolt.
Yeah, I thought that was creative.
Morning Jolt with Sister
Yeah.
Ignatia, maybe?
Yeah.
Or Coffee Talk,
Yeah.
which, do you remember the Mike Myers?
Okay, were you? Because I was
Right.
bouncing this off of people. They're
Yeah.
like, well, if you said it in like a Brooklyn or Queens
Right,
accent,
right.
then it would be appropriate.
Coffee talk.
Yeah. So if you're willing to do that, that might be
Right. He always had that.
coffee talk. Yeah.
Talk amongst, she'd get verklempt.
Oh,
And
yeah.
talk amongst yourselves. Like, Rhode Island is
love
neither a
that.
road nor an island. Discuss.
Discuss.
All right, so I don't know.
That's
Or something else, maybe.
I did like your last one, and it took me a while to get the intelligence behind it. Yeah, like Sister Ignatia, like I like my coffee.
Yeah.
Now, was that referring to the brown? Because I was like brown coffee, brown habit,
Sure.
sweet.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I'm sweet or not. Smooth. I don't know what you're really referring to.
Bitter? Are you
bitter? Love it. Dark, intense.
How was your coffee?
It's good. I was.
How would
He
you
said it
describe
was-
it with all those descriptors?
I
Bitter,
know.
intense, smooth.
Well, he said it was nutty, so I'm definitely tasting the nutty, and then a little bitter, sweet on the front end, bitter on the back, maybe.
Okay.
If that's a real thing. I don't
Yeah.
really know. I'm just saying stuff.
How does it compare to the coffee that you make yourself?
Oh, maybe a little smoother. I do pretty, like, I can kind of see through, it's a pretty light ambery color, but when I do it, it's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That probably depends on what beans you use.
Yeah.
It's not that they.
Yeah, no.
Watered it down
No,
or anything. It's
This
just
is like
the
a lighter
type of-
roast thing,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I do.
All right. So what are we going with for a name for the show?
Oh, I don't know. I think the first one's pretty good.
Morning Jolt.
Yeah. What were your leanings? You have,
Yeah. If it's Morning Jolt, I feel like you need to scream at some point. Like
Wake up!
wait, can you say that again, and then I'll cut it out, and we can use that.
Okay. Oh, now you're putting me on the spot. Wake up! Get that?
Yeah, that's great.
Is that I feel like I like a rock concert.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. Morning Jolt. Morning Jolt would be the worst rock band name. We're Morning Jolt.
No one would listen to their music. Who's ready for like rock music at 7:45 in the morning? Not me. Anyway. Wake up!